You probably know, or you figured out by now, that all of our first readings during the season of Easter come to us from the Acts of the Apostles. And today, with our reading of the martyrdom of Stephen, we hear about an important turning point in this book. We hear about how the apostles have been preaching all this time in Jerusalem, and from now on out are going to move outside of Jerusalem. And the martyrdom of Stephen is important because not only is he the first Catholic martyr, but he's a reflection of Christ. Look at the similarities we see in him. First of all, they take him out of the city of Jerusalem, just as Jesus was crucified outside the city. We also hear that he says, I commend to you my spirit. Here he's saying Jesus, rather than Jesus saying, Father, I commend to you my spirit. But also he says, forgive them, they not know what they do. Also echoing those words of Jesus. So he shows us that every martyr will be a reflection of Christ. Now, we might look at his speech today, the one that ends up getting him stoned to death, and think, maybe he should have softened his words. Maybe if he had a good agent or an HR person who could help him kind of smooth things over, maybe make him a little more palatable to the people, things would have been different. But we shouldn't forget the fact that Jesus himself preached to this very same crowd, and that to this same crowd also, Peter and the apostles preached. So Stephen is saying essentially, look, you've got to make a decision. You've got to come to belief. It's a great reminder for us that sometimes we need to speak the truth, and it can be challenging to hear. Jesus himself did that when he said, you hypocrites, or you stiff-necked people, or you brood of vipers, right? He would say things that were challenging for people to hear. And he's a reminder to us that sometimes we, like Stephen, need to preach the gospel when it's kind of tough to hear, but to preach it with love. So today, as you go throughout your day, look for those opportunities to preach the good news, whether it's inconvenient or convenient, whether it's challenging or not, regardless of how it will be heard, because you're preaching the good news with love.